Alright guys, what's up? We're back. Wakey wakey, Norman Reedus. So, we're gonna be doing some important stuff today, but first, we're gonna read a little bit. There are quite a few things to read, but we're not gonna go too in depth on that. Well, three things, I believe, maybe a little more. Alright, this is from Die Hardman explaining how likes secrete oxytocin. What we've learned about oxytocin so far is that mules um, became sort of addicted to oxytocin. They had higher levels of it in their head. That's why they hunt down me, the deliverer, and try to steal my packages and stuff because they had all the people put out of work by machines who called up again and convinced themselves society couldn't survive without them, and that brought on a whole new disorder. They had delivery dependent syndrome. So yeah, mules had that, and it has to do with oxytocin levels in their brain. Like secrete oxytocin 4 years ago, so this is a pretty old thing that they figured out. Before the Stranding, the whole world was connected. There were networks, social networks we called them, that people used to communicate all the time. This is fun. They shared all sorts of stuff through them, a random thought, a pretty picture, a home movie, memes, you name it. And if you liked something that someone else had uploaded, you let them know by giving them, well, a like. Sounds weird, I know, but that's the truth. Eventually, someone ran tests on the users of these networks and discovered that receiving a like triggered a rush of oxytocin. You hear that, guys? Social media is bad. Hideo Kojima confirmed. The theory was that it stemmed from a sense of being acknowledged. That's 100% true, to be honest, though. Even though you couldn't see the person you were interacting with, it still felt like they were accepting you, praising you. And who wouldn't like that? A good point. But that same process is at the heart of the mule phenomenon. Yeah, that's kind of where I thought it was going to go with this. It's believed that an overdependence on the oxytocin rush provided by these kinds of interactions is a factor in porters going rogue. With this in mind, it wouldn't be wrong to characterize mules as oxytocin addicts. In essence, they're social animals at the mercy of validation. That's really well written and really pretty, I think, in a eloquent sort of way. Alright, so this is from Deadman, telling us a little bit more about the BB echolocation process, and that's what we use to ping the BTs. Dolphins use a sensory mechanism known as echolocation to keep track of both their fellow pod members. A group of dolphins is called a pod, by the way, and potential prey. As the name suggests, they produce sounds which bounce off objects and return as echoes, allowing them to get an idea of their surroundings. Interesting in and of itself, of course, but what I find far more interesting is the recent research suggesting that BBs use a similar method to detect BTs. So it's an echolocation ability these BBs have. That's interesting. As you know, BB pods are designed to mimic the conditions inside a human womb, and are key to preserving the BB's connections with this world and the next. Well, recent research now suggests that BBs are capable of producing something not unlike a dolphin's sound waves. These pulses travel through the amniotic fluid and out the other side, bounce off BTs, and return as echoes, allowing a BB to ascertain the location of threats. Pretty cool, right? Very cool to have that explained finally. That's really interesting information. So now we 100% understand why and how the BB does what it does and its necessity. That's very interesting. Okay, well, I'm skimming this really quick. Alright, so we're going to read chiral contamination number 2, but because we have dooms, um, we're not really prone to, or I don't think it's possible for us to have chiral contamination, but regular people can. and do get chirally contaminated. Uh, 3 years ago, from Hartman, the doctor, chiral contamination can be alleviated using similar methods to those used to alleviate stress, increasing oxytocin secretion through contact with other people, administering smart drugs, and so forth. In recent years, however, a hormone dubbed lyxin known to mitigate the effects of chiral contamination while also restoring basic physical and mental acuity, has attracted a great deal of attention from the scientific community. Unlike oxytocin, lyxin cannot be administered externally. It is secreted within the body, but only in response to external stimuli. It is said to be the hormone principally responsible for the positive feelings that occur when one achieves a goal, enjoys success, receives praise or gratitude, or any other form of like from a fellow human being. Interesting. So, I guess what we're learning from these chiral contamination pieces is that, let me try and sum it up in my own words to fully absorb it, is that the strands that connect human beings together help us secrete oxytocin in our minds, like acknowledging and appreciating each other. When you isolate yourself or are isolated from the rest of the world, chiral contamination is a high possibility. In the previous thing about chiral contamination, we learned that. Let me read just a little section. The potential impact on an individual's mental health cannot be understated. The resulting hormonal imbalances frequently lead to heightened destructive impulses towards the self and others. Those dominated by such urges are named homodemons, the mad ones. In the case of some porters, such as mules, impaired memory and judgment has led them to develop an irrational obsession with their profession, hence the Homo Gestalt moniker. Interesting. Okay, we have one more thing about BTs. Oh man, I'm kind of. These are always really mind blowing. Like all the Egyptians, the concepts of death, the discovery of beaches, all of it's been really just a lot of information. Let's read it. 2.4 million years ago, Homo habilis started to craft stone tools. Those are the original human beings, and this is factual information that he's stating. Hands are so very important, don't you think? Our other sensory organs passively interpret data. Our eyes light, our ears sound, our noses smell, our mouths taste. But hands are different. To touch requires conscious action, to grasp more so, to connect that which is in our left hand with that which is in our right, still more. And the handprints we see when BTs seek out humans. Why? I'd say that's just evidence of our otherworldly friends yearning to forge a connection. They're reaching out to us, attempting to bridge the gap between realm of the dead and that of the living. Really interesting information there, but I kind of wish there was a little more. Um, I'm, I'm sure we'll learn more about BTs within, a couple chapters of the game. I know we're really early on still, and I'm actually acquiring most of this information through doing side missions. I'm not sure if you're just given all this by playing the game regularly, but I I'm really happy that we're learning as much as we are. This is the most important aspect of the game, in my opinion, is understanding the world around us in order to deal with it, in order to get through it and actually unify the world and bring it back to its former glory, right? I guess that's our goal, right? So, let's see if there's anything else to read. Bridges Staff, Distribution Center west of Capital Knot City. This is the place that is the closest to us on the map, the first one that I went and united with us here in Capital Knot City. It's been about a year now since we came here with the rear guard. The first folks that through did us the favor of setting up the chiral relay and patching things up before we arrived, so we're doing alright. Not so sure about everyone else though. Folks back home sound kinda freaked out. We don't know what's going on in Central or Capital, let alone how Amelie, is it Amelie or Emil? Yeah, it's Amelie. And the others who kept heading west are doing, but something doesn't feel right. What's more, a lot of the guys have developed some kind of agoraphobia. Like the thought alone of going outside scares the shit out of them. See, the distro centers and way stations around these parts here aren't like the ones back east. They're much more isolated. Out in the middle of nowhere. Can't help but feel cut off from the world. And there's not a lot of staff on hand neither. Which means you often have to do the work of two guys, which can make it that much more lonely too. And then you factor in the terrorism rumors. Interesting. Also, is it just me or does it feel like there's more mules out there these days? Don't get me wrong, I know they're not out to get us. All they want is our cargo, right? Well, that doesn't change the fact that they're not making our work any easier. Especially since a lot of these guys used to be first-rate porters and could run rings around us if they hadn't, you know. Still, for now, the network systems are up and running, and we're just holding out for the day when the second expedition comes through with a working Cupid. Till then, we'll keep things chugging along. That much we can do for bridges and country, am I right? Not wrong. That's from Benjamin Hancock. We actually have a 5-star relationship with him. That's probably why we got this letter. Chiralium coatings. 2 years ago, west of Capital Knot City. Truth is, we discovered it by dumb luck. Folks had made a point of building cities outside of timefall regions, but the way stations and the distro centers were a different story. No way around it, really. Even through all that exposure meant they deteriorate quicker. Okay. But when you're keeping an eye out for things deteriorating, you soon notice how chiralium crystals react when exposed to timefall, which is to say, not at all. That's a good point. We've actually noticed that in in our environments where there is timefall, which is the rain that ages things, right? That chiralium crystals seem to just come up out of the ground. I don't know what causes them to grow. Maybe we were told that at some point, but I actually thought timefall is what caused them, like buildup of timefall on a certain kind of mineral or something, but who knows. They showed no signs of degradation whatsoever, stayed rock solid even after getting soaked. It sorta made sense. Chiralium comes from the beach, right? And over there, time doesn't pass. Timefall had no effect on the crystals because they may as well exist outside of time. And when we ran a few experiments, that's pretty much what we confirmed. Now I know what you're thinking. Why not build way stations out of chiralium, right? Yeah, if only. Turns out overexposure to that stuff is lethal, and it can't be stored in large quantities either. Still, at least the chiralium coatings we came up with do just enough to keep the rot manageable. That's something. Interesting. Alright, and we have one more to read, and we're gonna start on our main story mission. Dooms in the Zodiac, 5 years ago, written by an astrologer in an office in central Knot City. Astrologers like me are used to having our work dismissed, incorrectly of course, as unscientific mumbo-jumbo, but since the Death Stranding, more and more people have started to take an interest in what's known as astropsychology, a discipline that combines astrology with various forms of psychology. The fact that each person has a beach, right? We learned that from a previous note, to which they are spiritually connected has doubtless contributed to this trend. These days, there are even psychotherapists who use astrological techniques in their counseling sessions. Perhaps the most interesting recent development of all, however, is the discovery of the alignment of celestial bodies at the moment of one's birth can influence one's relationship with the condition known as dooms. Of course, chiralium in the Earth's atmosphere means that it's difficult, dare I say impossible, to actually observe the constellations at any point. To come to the conclusion that they therefore have no effect upon human lives, however, would be a foolish error indeed. So this is more so describing how in the beginning of the game they had asked me what my birthday was and used my astrology sign. I think that's what they're called. I'm not a big follower of anything like that. But they actually explained after I gave my birthday that certain aspects of dooms, depending on your sign, can change. Like your character can have certain abilities more so or less so, I believe, based on your birthday. So, and this note I think is sort of explaining that there's not really a rhyme or reason to it, but don't dismiss it. So that's pretty interesting. We're gonna wear that. Alright, we out. Baby! Baby! Uh-oh. Oh.
Hey, Lisa, don't be shy. Just like we used to. Come on, keep up.
So is this scientist in love with the stillbirth mother?
Sorry. Did I wake you up? Today's Mommy's birthday.
Yeah. He is.
It's also the anniversary of when we first met.
Oh, that's really sad. Oh. That's such a long trip. I could probably do both of these at once. How long do I have to do this? Yeah, that's an easy one. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna do this and the main story mission at the same time. This is just a little something to do.
Order assigned.
Yep. And we're gonna take this as well.
That's a transfusion bag containing blood drawn from you. While equipped, it'll gradually replenish yours.
Okay. Blood will be drained from blood bags before it is drained from Sam's body. There are blood draining weapons.
Sam, this is our first attempt at developing an anti-BT weapon. I had to work fast with what we had, so they're basically modified hand grenades. At least, that's how they're meant to function. They've never actually been tested in the field. Who knows? You might be the first person to kill a BT. And wouldn't that be something? But, even if they do work, don't forget that they're fueled by your blood. Use too much, and you'll give yourself anemia.
Alright. So we have a lot of blood bags and a lot of those grenades. The grenades draw from our blood, so it seems I'll be, like,
Order assigned.
keeping blood bags on me, and I think it can just, pull directly from the bag instead of our blood to try and help us prevent getting, anemia. So.
Up for performing an experiment with hematic grenades? Might be worth taking a look.
Sam, looks like you've got some more orders to take care of. Remember, once you get to Port Knot City, you'll be crossing the lake. So you should make any pending deliveries before then. Take a look at your map and figure out the most efficient way to get to all the places you need to go.
What was that? Alright, so there are BTs around. That's really bad. So I can't save the game. I don't see any. Maybe that there has to be someone around here. I guess not. Alright, we're just gonna gun for the western point. Alright. I thought I saw one over there. This is like destroying my cargo doing this right now. This thing's pointing me. Okay. Kind of hard to aim this. Well, I'm all out of grenades already. Because I don't think it did anything. I think they need to be in the black goop form for me to, like, hurt them. I think our safest option is literally just driving back. And getting more grenades and maybe learning...
Breathe easy, Sam. You're clear of BT territory. The Death Stranding's to blame for all of this. The gazers, the fall of America, everything. It warped the world beyond recognition. Humanity had to scramble like rats fleeing a sinking ship. But there's nowhere else to go. There's no future living like this. If we're to survive, we need to find another way. A way to overcome the BTs, the Death Stranding, the whole damn mess.
Yeah, he's very right. I can't live my, I can't live my life. God.
Having dooms gives you advantages most folks don't have. But as capable as you are, you're also a member of Bridges now. An organization filled with experts in a whole variety of fields, all of whom are ready and willing to help. The team is here for you, Sam. All you have to do is ask. Got it? Good.
Each one takes a whole box. It's not very efficient.
Looks like you've got an empty container there, huh? Feel free to submit junk like that to Bridges.
Okay. And by that, I think she means recycle it, so let's do that. Alright. Okay, cool. That's good.
Thank you for your contribution.
Alright, now we need to, like, manage cargo and get this arranged better. And that's barely better. Alright, so now our mission is to go kill a BT, basically, or else I can't get where we gotta go, and we gotta get there, so...
Weapons restrictions lifted.
And as soon as we get to this, it's gonna get dark. Is there one that's alone that I could do this to? So it does kill them. Wow. And it left a chiral crystal where it died. That's really interesting. Let's see if the chiral crystal pops up again. Yeah, it did. Interesting. Very interesting. So we're trying to find more shit. We gotta get through here. And there's probably... There's one. Okay. Got him. Let's see if another chiral crystal... Yep, sure enough it did. So it doesn't pop up exactly where they died, but it is close by. That's very interesting. I think we can learn about what their like chemical makeup is through studying chiralium a little harder then. I'm trying to kill all of them, so the rain will stop maybe, or I can fucking get through here. Alright. So I don't have any more. I think I've cleared enough of a path to get where I need. We have to be quiet and not move. Didn't work. Dude, come on. Okay, I figured it out. Oh my god, this is horrifying. Did I do it? You guys, the rain's gone. Whoa, it's a bunch of chiralium.
Incredible. Simply incredible.
I have to put the controller down.
History, a human being has defeated a BT. Were you not a repatriate, I doubt it would have been possible. Not only does contact with your fluids pose no risk of triggering a void out, but in much the same way as your car is rejected by the beach, your blood can be used to expel BTs from our world and return them to the other side. You've given us hope, Sam. Perhaps we may yet be saved.
Oh, I think there's another. I was about to whip my dick out and piss on it. Like, so that wasn't like the first time. The first time, I had like a chance to escape it. This time, it immediately brought the whale thing out, and I had to fight it. But we were able to kill the whale using the grenades. Alright, we gotta pick up this package and make this trip really fast.
Okay.
We gotta get there yesterday, bud. Come on, we got this. Oh, come on. What, dude? What just happened? Alright. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. So we got that done. So I know how to throw the grenades now. I know that like 5 of them comes in a pack.
Safe travel, Sam. You be careful, okay?
Okay.
Good work. New order available. Please access.
Alright, so yeah, we're gonna take this just back to Capital Knot really quick, and I want to deposit some of these grenades. Now that I know there's like 5 in a bundle, I don't need to have as many on me as I do. Alright, so this will be a quick little trip. I'm gonna keep it recording though, because I'm getting the feeling something kind of crazy could happen. Even on my way back at this point, I really don't know, you know, so... Okay, so there's no rain here though. Not now, at least. It's good.
Okay.
Man, my joystick is starting to go wonky. This is not the game for my joystick to have crapped out on. It's kind of aggravating.
See you soon, brother.
I'm gonna deposit one more of the grenades. Alright. We're going to make some boots. So, okay, let's take a look.
Sam, if there's
No, I
one
get
you...
that. I get that. So we're trying to get down to... Where is it? Jesus. It's a big city.